उपस्थित देवियों, सज्जनों और बच्चों, एक बार फिर से आप सभी को नमस्ते, अभिनंदन और स्वागत है वैदिक प्रतिनिधि सभा और आर्य समाज ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया के दिवाली 2022 सेलिब्रेशंस में। हमारे दिवाली सेलिब्रेशंस में चीफ गेस्ट है डॉक्टर और एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर राघव शर्मा जी। तो मैं डॉक्टर राघव शर्मा और साथ में श्रीमती सुधा शर्मा जी को विशेष स्वागत करता हूँ। डॉक्टर शर्मा न्यू साउथ वेल्स हेल्थ और वेस्टमीड हॉस्पिटल के सर्जिकल पैथोलॉजिस्ट और डायग्नोस्टिक ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट है। वे अपनी ट्रेनिंग रॉयल नॉर्थ शोर हॉस्पिटल में हासिल किया और बाद में रॉयल प्रिंस एल्फ्रेड हॉस्पिटल में और फिलहाल वेस्टमीड हॉस्पिटल में अपना सेवा प्रदान कर रहे हैं। Apart from being a specialist doctor, he is a very spiritual, religious and a very active community service worker. I am aware that Dr. Sharma, without any hesitation, provides his assistance and guidance to people who have gone to him. He has been assisting several developing countries with medical equipment and medicine. I have been told that he established and assists with the Master of Pathology course in Fiji. Dr. Sharma is also an athlete from his high school days and continues to take keen interest and involves his whole family and friends to maintain healthy mind and physique. And despite his very busy schedule as a doctor, Dr. Sharma takes keen interest to promote the relevance of science and religion, Vedic teachings, spiritualism and benefits of Havan. And I acknowledge and thank Mrs. Sudha Sharma for the support she gives Dr. Sharma so that he is able to wholeheartedly provide his medical attention to his many patients and also do community service. Dr. Sharma has special interest in integrative medicine, research in scientific explanation of Vedic Hindu Dharma and promoting holistic healthy behavior, and is a sought-after speaker for youth guidance and motivational talks. और साथ में डॉक्टर शर्मा जी एक बहुत ही भला, नेक और परोपकारी इंसान भी है। तो मैं प्रोफेसर राघव शर्मा जी को और श्रीमती सुधा शर्मा जी को एक बार फिर से विशेष स्वागत करता हूँ। And I will now request our chief guest, Associate Professor Raghava Sharma ji, for his address. Professor Sharma ji.
Om Bhurvasva Viturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat। हे प्राणदाता, दुखहर्ता, सुख के प्रदाता, जगत के उत्पादक, प्रकाशमान परमात्मा देव, हम आपकी वर्णीय शेष रूप का ध्यान करते हैं। आप हमारी बुद्धि को उसको मार्ग में प्रेरित कीजिए। O God, giver of life, remover of pains and sorrows, bestower of happiness, creator of universe, God, most luminous, pure and adorable, we meditate on thee, please inspire and guide our intellect in the right direction. हमारे पूजनीय पंडित जी, पंडिता प्रभा जी, हमारे बुजुर्ग लोग, मिस्टर ब्रिजपाल सिंह जी, शशि मयंक जी, और हमारे जो प्रोमिनेंट हमारे समाज के लोग हैं, आप सभी को मैं अपनी तरफ से रिस्पेक्ट देता हूँ आने के लिए। आज का जो विषय है दीपावली। दीपावली is lamp of lights, ठीक है? So I'll speak probably most of my talk in English so that people who can't understand get the meaning of what I'm trying to say. Deepawali is row of lamps. The significance of lamps is actually light. Light, which is external. When we light a diya, it not only brightens itself up, but it brightens its neighbors. It's not selfish. As a doctor and with understanding of science and the body, I can tell you there's a diya or a lamp inside us, about 5 ribs below our bone here, is the size of a powerful powerhouse. And it is like a lamp in us. That lamp is what needs to be ignited. Om Astuma Satgamaya Tamsuma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. So God lead us from untruth to truth, from ignorance to knowledge, from death to immortality. That's what the 3 Sanskrit mantras say. And that is really appropriate for today, to focus our attention on the lamp or the diya of our body that we have. I'll divide my talk into 3 sections. The first part will be talking about what it means, as I mentioned a few things about the diya already. The second component will be the reasons why Hindus celebrate Deepawali. The first 2 can be actually very easily and very deeply explained by other people who are more learned than me in religion, as well as understanding the significance of what we do. Probably the most important part and relevant to me as a doctor is that if I can share knowledge of how science merges with the most ancient practice of the world, or the only ancient surviving civilization of the world, Hinduism. It's high time that our own people realize that in last 15 years especially, there's humongous amount of research publications, at least 50,000 publications, which are showing what our rishis, and I say our rishis were research scientists, laid down in our original scriptures. And this is very important, understanding original scriptures. Because just the sheer length of the time of this civilization, naturally in any society will actually erode lots of good things that were there. I think the time is right. We live in a very civilized, educated country. With that, most of us have that extent of knowledge that if I share this knowledge, I'm pretty sure you want to accept it and you want to take responsibility of taking it further. So by the first part of it, diya, Deepawali, lamp. You, as I said, if the lamp in part of our heart is the reflection of energy that drives this complete physical body, more so the mental, the psychological component of this body that is. Science has now accepted, finally, that we don't only have a physical body. And this is now proven within science, that there is a mental component to this body. And slowly, gradually, not quite there, we will accept there is a spirit or soul or a prana or an energy that is far beyond, which is the driver of these 2. That will take time, and we don't have to rush, because we aren't ready to be there anyway. We are all corrupted. We all are diseased now. We aren't ready. The problem I find, and why my interest in spirituality, religious activities is because the body, if you don't look after a physical body and mental body, and if you go and do all that we are doing in terms of religious activities, it's bound not to give you what you are looking for, because you ain't ready. So let's not go there. Although I can give you in passing, quantum theory, unified field, what's called, is the most proven science of the world today. This is pushing what's called Newtonian science, which was based on matter. And matter is just to say, if I can see, smell, taste, or touch, is the only reason of survival. It's beyond that now. So significance of light in your heart, this energy that drives us is so powerful, and it just happens that we had a World Congress of surgical pathology, diagnostic oncology meeting going on. Whole week I was presenting there, and side by side there was a mind, body, soul meeting going on. And I was shocked. Less publicly interested in the medical meeting. There was just crowd within the mind, body, soul meeting, and I'm sure they had very good business. So it is the community actually which is changing the mindset of the medical profession. It's not my medical profession because we are too authoritative, we are too British, we are too Western, that we won't give our ego away that easily. But it's the community which is doing it. And I can speak today because of so much of studies and scientific research that are being put now. So think about of your heart. The language of heart to the infinite or Paramatma is love, joy, happiness, simplicity, humbleness. And this is what our granths, our scriptures have forever taught us. अभी दशहरा का समय था ना? 10 heads of Ravan. No human being has 10 heads. It's your 10 vices. Okay? So काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद, माया, मत्सर्य, ईर्ष्या, द्वेष इत्यादि अपने जीवन से निकालो. That's what we do when we burn the effigy of Ravana. That's what's meant to be. Although there are reasons to believe. Now I'll come, which reminds me, I just wanted to go through the run of the reasons of why we celebrate Deepawali. Satyuga is more than 100,000 years ago, and this is still, we can't verify by our archaeological studies, carbon dating, never mind. We are dating so many things, it will be dated one day too, but we know that time the reason why Deepawali celebrated was for a reason what's called Navshresti Yaj. Yaj used to be done. This is time of Parashurama, Hiranyakash. This is far beyond us. And still Yaj was done. Why Yajna? Why lamp? And that was clay only. You know, there was no fancy lights or anything, which is good. We progress with time, and it's good because the science is what is validating and allowing me to stand and talk to you guys as well. So it's good, all this technology is very good. The light lamp. So this is the time of autumn in India. So there was harvest done, and our ancient civilization, Indus Valley civilization, had these prayer ceremonies which was offering whatever you had from your farm, whatever you brought home was actually put in the same kind of Havan ceremony, which is still now being practiced by an old credit to Swami Dayananda. Otherwise, it wouldn't be lasting now. He maintained, he came back to actually bring this back. So, the real reason, far away, it was actually to show gratitude. My educated friends, a lot of doctors and lawyers and qualified people say, why does a creator who has abundance and everything need a thank you? Yeah, true, why? The thing is, it's actually not the thank you to the God or the energy or the creator. It's actually gratitude. And gratitude now has been proven to be the largest power source of energy for this body. So thank you, appreciation and gratitude is learned by doing this thing. So I remember my parents, I didn't understand then, whenever we had first ghee made or harvest done, they always had a yaj ceremony. It was offered, and you know in Havan only the most sattvic or pure ingredients are added. Imagine somebody put chili in there, what will happen to this room? So that's the power of fire, Agni, Shakti. What it takes, it doesn't keep it to itself like the light, the lamp itself, it takes it away. So if you add, which are sattvic, pure quality things, it is going to spread all beyond. So this smoke that is done is not a burning wood or something, it's a very purified form of ingredients that is done. So far beyond, we don't know our neighbors and Paramatta heals or whoever practices it, all of them will actually inhale it. And it's good. It is. So the expression was of gratitude. Then came, after Satyug Treta Samay. Treta is like more than 50,000. You know Rama, Sita. This is the commonest reason why people celebrate Deepawali. Ram, removing Ravana. Ravana is indicated. So education, let's make this clear. Education doesn't mean you are intelligent. Ravana was most educated person of his time. Fully read Vedas, all the scriptures of Hindu. Most powerful physically and mentally. But he fell because of his selfishness, the negativities that he had to be removed. So it's a teaching for us today. We all think that modern education, and I'm the product of it, nothing against personally, but don't have this ego, this feeling of thinking that you are beyond everything because you have had some books and you've got a degree. I could do the same. I have multiple degrees, but that doesn't mean anything. It's only for bread and butter for me. What does it do if I don't apply it to community and health? What is the point of boasting about what we have? It's only for your bread and butter. So Ravana, when Ram returned, people obviously lighted diya. Then is the time of Dwapar. And it is very interesting to understand the chronology of ourselves, our cyclic nature of the earth itself, and beyond that, our universe, multiverse, and beyond. In Dwapara, and most of the South Indian people who would understand, they celebrate Diwali for the reason there was a Asura, Narkasur, Asura, like a Ravan. He, after Mahabharata war, got captive of more than 16,000 women and priests and others so that he could control, and Krishna had to come and remove him. So in South India, that is the reason why actually they celebrate Deepawali for that. And we had Mughals 500 years, British 200 years, and for whatever reason, Congress 70 years didn't help much actually bring back our old tradition. Now suddenly in last 10 years, somebody whoever is there is actually really igniting the Hindu culture, and good on him. The thing is, in this period, Bollywood itself actually destroyed the reflection of Krishna. He made it a lover boy. He was no way actually having affairs with those 16,000 women. He actually only saved the women. So this is how Bollywood even has twisted our history. So not to say that history is important to know, but it's not a self-fulfilling prophecy on its own. We are educated, we have advanced as a society, we have access to Dr. Google, and please choose the right books as well. As people who are from Fiji who had even more difficult time, Girmidia time, you hardly had any books and things. Whatever they could survive with their pastors, and this is beautiful to see Avindra and the group to actually run a session like this, and they do it on a monthly basis, and there are other Hindu organizations, and I always give thanks to them for the reason. If they didn't continue today, I wouldn't be able to speak to you because you wouldn't understand at all anything. So thanks to these groups of religious groups of all across our Hindu groups who maintain this culture, language, but the responsibility is on us. We are educated. Why do you want to only get stuck to that book? You have access to the Vedas now. You have access to Darshans. You have access to true Upanishad. You have access to Valmiki Ramayana. Have you read any of you here? I have read all. Almost all. I can't say all because we know it's just impossible. I spend every week reading. Throughout my medical school years, I had covered Old Testament, New Testament, Quran, and most of our Hindu scriptures. And later on in the life, I've concentrated on Vedas, Upanishads, Darshans I'm now doing. So let's take this from Deepawali tonight, that we have to stop blaming everyone else. We have become very complacent with whatever the religion became a culture. And we take that as actually our religion, which is far short of the greatness that this religion actually gives us. In Kali Yuga Samaya, Mahavira passed away. Jain people celebrate because of his nirvana. Buddha, 3000 years ago, Siddhartha obtained the power, the transcendence. When he came back home, Deepawali was celebrated for that reason, same time. And probably in other mythologies, bit more Puran based, are Lakshmi Puja. Some people believe in it's a new year because it's to do with your taxation year, like June is our year of taxation. So Gujaratis obviously are involved with money, so it's more important for them about that than anything else. So why not? Why not? They make it as a new year, but new year is in March, April, yeah? In the new year, it's not there. But I just wanted to give you an overview of understanding why we do. Probably the most important lesson of the recent times of Indian history, Hindu history is, and this is, I've researched, and it took me 7 years now, I'm writing a book on Swami Dayanand's life, and almost completed it. Following this person's life is just unreal what he achieved in 59 years. He left home when his sister and his closest uncle died. That reminded him he has to find the true meaning of what is being a human. Who am I? Why did I get born as a human? Or what is the universe outside there? That was the question. And going through the path of sacrifice, pains, and all that he did actually, eventually he reached the stage of moksha, emancipation, but met Swami Virijanand. Swami Virijanand reminded him, no, even with your moksha, you can't be selfish. Go out, all over India, from Tibet to Sri Lanka, north to south, east to west, he traveled for one purpose, to bring back the true authenticity of Hindu religion, which all of us accept as Vedas, the 4 Vedas. Let's go back to it. He preached, he went. The Upanishads, the Darshans, the true scriptures that are there. All other books are very important in terms of actually making sure we have a conversation, because question and answer sessions, stories, mythologies are very important in a classroom session from primary school to high, and whoever has achieved PhD, you know that these paths are there. But eventually, if you really want to find the true meaning of your life, then you have to go a bit abstract. And Swami Dayanand spent his life. In doing so, he was one of the first person to actually start revolution, independence movement in India. Most of the people who actually fought for India were under his either motivation or under Arya Samaj, what he formed directly. And I should remind you, he never formed a religious group, please. None of people who are here, remember, he formed just a reform movement. He said, people, become truthful to yourself. Don't believe in stupidity and superstitiousness. Use your common sense. Come up. That was all. So let's not make a distinction. This is wrong. He never actually. So at that time, India was undergoing, as I said, 500 is Mughal, 200 is European rule. The system was broken. 13 times people attempted to kill him. At the 14th attempt, which was 30th October 1883 at 6 p.m., he finally died at 59 years of age. And he's written, and if nobody has read, if you haven't read, please read Satya Prakash, Light of Truth, a book that you see, it's very painful, it's hard, it hits in your head, but read it once in your life and you'll see the reality of this man who actually just went to Narmada River, Tibet, mountains, no real school, and what he actually did. So the movement today that we have committed in ourselves to share the knowledge of what Vedas and the Vedas, based books, Darshans, Upanishads, Gita, Ramayana, are actually our real books. So other books, use them, utilize them as a stepping stone, but don't forget the real part. Now the next component is, now I'll say, why do I actually profess and stand here as a doctor? Why should I just come here? All my friends, nobody has time. They say, why? I did 25 years of life to become a specialist. Why do you waste your time? Why do you go? I come here to share knowledge with you all because I feel it's my responsibility as a medical professional to now give you evidence of what's happening in the world now. Om is the commonest mantra recited today in the world. This is because of Hindus believing in Vasudeva Kutumbakam. They don't convert anyone. Any yoga center you go, and I researched, 99% of yoga centers are run by Aussies here. Hardly any Hindus or Indians. Most of them are, and they use Om, they use pranayama, they use all these things. I am here to remind you, this is your religion, your culture, your power. But Vasudeva Kutumbakam, principle of our religion, makes everyone take what we have. Coherence breathing, pranayama, is now patented by Harvard University. They are doing so many research on pranayama because it's very helpful to our health. So slowly but surely this is going in this direction. Now if you read Darshans, and Darshans, Patanjali Darshan, it teaches about the whole steps of yoga in your life, which is Gita as a summary of it. If you read other darshan, it teaches about the whole creation. And Hubble telescope, now with James Webb telescope, suddenly we are seeing these beautiful pictures of the creation of the cosmos. And just few hundred years ago, people believed Earth was flat. And Socrates was killed because he dared to say Earth was spinning rather than sun. So we have changed, and now suddenly these are information in your books. I'm only here to remind you to say this is all written and this is all being validated by either at the cosmology level, at the physics, and as I say, the unified field of quantum theory directly tells us the universe, which is only about 5% matter, about less than 30% of what's called dark energy, and about 70% is just nothing. It's source of energy. Yatha pinde, tatha brahmande, yatha pinde. Means what we are made of. Every component of us is basically what is in the universe. We are no different. So how do you communicate at that level is the task of being a human. Human life was not given just to take a free ride. Excuse me for that. Just enjoy and party and all these things. No, we should do all this. That is what Vedas say. Enjoy life, fine. For that we could have been animals. Human life was given for discriminatory power. For we have vivek, so that you can actually choose the right path of actually reaching dharam, arth, kam, moksha. These are the 4 stages of a human life, and which goes with brahmacharya, grasti, vanastas, sannyas. That we, like it or not, our physiology of our body is going to change. You can't be a teenager at 35, and at 50 you can't behave like a 35, whatever you want to do to yourself. Because the body will change. And with that, the system that was created by our rishis was a guide for us so that we don't collapse after 50 when our children are gone, married. And why should we interfere? You don't want to look after your kids and forever. No, there is a responsibility of you to grow, because to find moksha, emancipation or transcendence is not a fluke. Because the thing about the reincarnation part is being proven as well by science. What's called microtubules in our body. it records. So as a doctor, I had an interest very early in life. When patients died, I just hang around with them. I wouldn't go away. I wanted to see what happens. So observe and document. And then many patients were able to save as well. And then to talk to them where they were, what was happening. And you wouldn't believe, this is like now thousands of experiences of people of near-death experience and out-of-body experience. Microtubules are components of our cells which actually record these things when they travel, and when they return, they are able to. And there's a reason why someone returns. They always have a reason to tell you, my family, my wife wouldn't survive, or my husband, or my children. There's a need for me to be here, depending on your credits and debits, or your karma. Otherwise, the life was decided, and the description of it is for some other day to talk about. So, the science is actually telling us this life is a cyclic nature. The body dies and merges with the cosmic 5 components, Akash, Vayu, Minjal, Prithvi. Our physical body with 10 senses are antennas to this body. So we receive whatever we receive through by looking, seeing and all. And you don't know, but 10% of the power is only utilized. Because we refuse to learn more. If you look at your dog, can you smell 500 meters away or someone so far away? Will tell you that the owner is coming. Or a deer can probably see the moon, the second moon as well. So the power, the human life is meant to learn from animals, from plants. And this is the beauty of Hindu religion, which taught us that we don't have a religion, we have a way of life. We are dharmic people. We follow moral concepts. We are righteous beings. And for being a righteous being, you are not scared of a hell or a heaven. There is no special person sitting anywhere. It is all within us. The temple is here. The Havan Kund is here. The mandirs are here. Everything is inside you. Eventually, if you realize that, that is the power of being human. And I'm only reminding you because science is now validating this thing. So, the senses, that what we perceive, brings in the information. These are organs of reception, only receptors. It goes to your brain. Brain interprets in a manner and then makes your cell work in a way. So this lamp, today we are lighting, is a lamp of hope. And I'm here to give you hope that whatever today is happening in the world, still we can change. We are at the verge of nuclear war. I don't know if you guys are up to date with what's happening in Ukraine and how Russia has been cornered by not so good people either on the other side. He might be cornered into. The thing is, we need to first ignite the lamp of light in us so that when you are happy, when you are joyful, when you express humbleness, one thing realize in your life, you can't be either angry or happy at the same time. Have you noticed? There's a choice. You can never be both. You can only be one. Again, that's the human being. Being a human is there. There's a choice in us. And I'll run through quickly, in mindful of time. If there's a restriction of time, Mala, do tell me, because otherwise I can keep going, yeah? Just remind me. So, the child, Mr. Good priest here, Deshpandeji's son. Excellent, beautiful, your daughter. Doing something. And you said it was no effort. I explained to you by science why there's no effort. A child starts learning from the 3rd trimester within the mother to up to 14 years freely. So there's hope for every child here sitting who is still young. And this is because we have what's called, a child has a delta wave, which is 0 to 4, up to 4 years of age. From 4 to 7, it goes into theta wave, which is 4 to 7. From 7 to 14, it's called alpha wave, which is 7 to 14. And learning only happens when the brain waves are low. That's why, teach your children, that's why we had a traditional system of Gurukul learning. Our priests, our rishis used to say, give me your child, I'll make him a man. Yeah? That's what the saying was. You will make whatever you want of a child in first 14 years. It is our choice. And this is science. This is not, Hindu scriptures. This is science. If you want to learn this for the sake of your children, take this. make them learn all the good things now up to 14 years, because after that beta wave comes. We are in beta wave stage, which is more than 14 oscillations, more than 21 oscillations. That's why you get 70, 80,000 thoughts in a day and you can't keep focus. The saddest part of world today is there's modules of everything in life, even going to a toilet and how to use the seal. But there's no module in the school system to say how to make a child focus. A teacher shouts focus, a parent shouts focus, but no module. The brain is the most complicated CPU system of this body. We don't have a module of how to utilize our 50 trillion neurons. Isn't it sad? Do you realize this? But it's not all lost. Okay, so the thing about the scriptures that we have, it has module of focusing. It teaches you how to sit quietly. Silence is the power in adulthood. In childhood, no. Childhood, it's very important. They are free, but feed them the right thing. Feed them the right environment. Because the programming that is done in the first 14 years of your life will forever be with you, because brain is selfish. It doesn't want to utilize much energy, because if you want to change after 35 years of your life, and we all have tried to lose weight, we all tried to change our way on New Year's Day, and by March you left it. Because brain is selfish. It doesn't allow you to change, because it is pre-programmed into the information which sits on your left side of the brain, that it doesn't allow you to actually come out of it, and this is why we struggle in life. So that doesn't mean that it's a defeatist state. You just have to know that it takes more energy to actually stimulate yourself into that statehood, which is basically survival mode we live in. This is called survival mode. 16 hours or 24 hours, you are all rushing tonight. You are so nicely sitting. And if I had a measurement of electromagnetic frequency and the mind-body center where I went to after my meeting, they were measuring mine as well. They were measuring everyone. They were measuring the area. So positivity can be measured, and I can guarantee that it will be so much higher. Okay? So in conclusion, I will just say this. Deepawali is far more depth in it than to just celebrate, which is good. Majestism, all this good clothes, because it gives positivity. So if you're positive, you can focus your mind. So that's why we have hundreds of celebrations in Hindus, because it gives you a positive mind. But take this bit more. Apart from your social significance, the religious significance, there is a deeper spiritual or scientific evidence of how we can actually improve ourselves. And another day I can talk about the hope that I was giving you, the hope of lamb. Is a hope of epigenetics, because we are not genetically defined. All our diseases in our body can be changed. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamiva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. What an amazing presentation, full of knowledge. It's a wealth of knowledge that you have imparted to us. I wish we could sit here for a longer period, but time didn't permit, so I wasn't being rude, but okay. So I think Dr. Sharma has given us so many bits of information that were like pieces of the jigsaw missing in some of our lives. Good reference of text and reading material, at least for me, and I'm sure all of you will take at least one bit from here. And it was like there was telepathy. I hardly know you, but it's like whatever I would have said, you have said. So brilliant. So धन्यवाद one more time. And अब एक और भजन